and we are delighted to have with us Martin Bell.
Thank you for coming. I'm very careful about what invitations I accept and what I don't. Last June I turned down one to appear in this year's Strictly Come Dancing. That was the Edwina role, and look what happened to her. And actually I was doing a literary event with Anne Winnicott in Devon only 2 weeks ago, except she didn't show up. I was supposed to be on, she was really on at 6 and I was on at 8. And I was in Lovelace Appledore, so I got there early. 10 to 6, 6 o'clock, 5 past 6. And this isn't like Anne. Anne is a worker, she's not a no-show. This was so typical of her. The reason she wasn't there, she had an argument with her sat-nav. She didn't believe it, and she ended up on a one-way track into a farmyard. So I got going with 10 minutes of bad jokes, and we're the best of friends. And now I'm completely starstruck. You see, not only Anne, but Deborah. Wow. I played my Suffolk credentials. She lives in Suffolk, and I happen to be the youngest old soldier of the Suffolk Regiment. And only at the beginning of last week I was with Angelina. That Angelina. I was, if you want to look, the most fawning, drooling, sycophantic celebrity interview in the history of celebrity interviews. Google my name against Angelina's. I was comparing an awards ceremony for the UN in Geneva. I work for UNICEF, she works for the Refugee Agency, and she was being honoured for 10 years, wonderful work. And she's not just playing the celebrity game, she does wonderful things. And so I got starstruck again. And she invited me on one of her field trips, so there's hope yet. But I'm going to talk about other stuff today. I've been a lot of things. I've been a soldier, I've been a war reporter, I've been an MP in Nelmy. I'm now an ambassador for UNICEF, and late in life I decided that I would become a poet. The reason for this is I feel things very deeply, and I find I can't express it in prose anymore. This is not the sort of verse you can't understand. I'll give you a sense of where we are. I was not a huge admirer of the war in Iraq, like most of the people I know, so there's one about our former Prime Minister. Prime Minister Anthony Linton Blair, with messianic zeal and force of will, marched the Queen's soldiers up the hill, and then he left them there. There once was a great fantasist who published a dossier or list of a whole armoury of WMD, which were weapons that didn't exist. But it's not only war and peace, there's a lot of other stuff. I thought I'd have a go at bankers. Now, if you're looking for a rhyme for banker, you can take some serious wrong turns, especially in front of a posh Guildford audience. So late at night, I had a stiff McCallum's, and I think I cracked it. See what you think. I have no prejudice or rancour against the profiteering banker, but if he reckons that the onus should fall on us to pay his bonus, then I'm the Maharaja of Sri Lanka. They are fairly up to date. I had them all assembled, about 150 of them at the end of July, and then I got cold feet over a couple. One was about the phone hacking crisis, and there are a lot of lawsuits flying over that. And the other was about a former rival, and that's one of my friends. This is the one that's not in here, called Walking Wounded. Never himself a soldier, he did well. He knew his stuff, Kalashnikov and Uzi. Tactics and troops were all grist to his mill. He covered wars successfully until one day in one of them he slipped and fell while getting into the hotel jacuzzi. He limped on painfully since war is hell, and then being wounded, he sued the hotel. So I took that one out, and the publisher said, well, have you by any chance written anything about the London riots? I said, have I written about the London riots? Wow. Well, I'm going to give you the full riotous literacy, because it goes like this. They looted clothes and trainers, mobile phones, all goods of glitz and value and utility, but never even paused at Waterstone, seeing its books as objects of futility. Shakespeare's undrinkable, Kipling's unthinkable, Milton's unwearable, Wordsworth's unbearable. This one at least we make allowance for, the Sage of Lakeland being such a war. And as for our inflammatory writers, Trotsky, Karl Marx and Chomsky, all in vain. Not even they attracted London's rioters, being judged not worth a broken window pane. And so here's the law of lawlessness. But the first one is London's burning. I'll just give you the first verse, because this is light and dark. This is one of the darker ones. One night in Tottenham we crossed a border into a land of riot and disorder, and it's our land. We law-abiding Brits are now the authors of a homegrown blitz. We steal, we smash, we torch that bus. No one's to blame for it but us. Our sense of who we are is shot to bits, and wild-eyed tribesmen in Waziristan speak sadly of the savage Englishman.